Hey, I'm Connor Nielsen of CS Reviews. You know, I really love a good movie. And last video was my top 50 favorite movies of all time, part 1. Now this is part 2. Last video we did slots 50 through 41, and this time we're doing 40 to 31. It's going to be a 5-part video ending on August 29th, which is like 4 days from now. So anyways, let's dig on in. This is my top 50 personal favorites of all time. Alright, number 40 is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Everybody loves this movie. I mean, Indiana Jones, played by Harrison Ford, is one of the most iconic and awesome movie characters ever. I mean, after watching this, I was like, Han Solo, you don't stand a chance. I mean, Han Solo, you're awesome, but Indiana Jones is better. I think that Harrison Ford does a fantastic job as Indiana Jones, and I love the story. It's like this cross-country adventure, and more like international adventure. I mean, they go from like Nepal to Egypt, and they go everywhere. It's just such a fun adventure movie. I consider it an adventure movie, even though like half it's an action movie, and it's just a fantastic action adventure movie. It's in my eyes, the definition of action adventure. And you're probably thinking, wait a second, but you said that Chariots of Fire was a better movie. Well, it's a better movie, but this is, in my eyes, a more favorite movie. And yeah, everyone's seen this movie. There's one thing I don't like. I don't really think Belloc's that great of a villain. He's just like a cartoon character, which really is just a tribute to the old serials. And, well, they got the cliche bad guy down perfectly. And I think that it's just one awesome action sequence after the next, after the next, after the next. My personal favorite is, and they always get better. My favorite's the car chase, where Indy is just, you've seen it, so you know what I mean. I mean, everybody's seen this movie. And if you haven't, what are you doing? Watch it. It's awesome. And I mean, you're probably like, well, Transformers was awesome. Well, whatever, that's just Michael Bay. Here you go, give me money. Well, whatever, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is really amazing. And I love the way Steven Spielberg uses shadows, especially in the bar scene. And yeah, everyone's seen this movie. If you haven't, you know, watch it now. And I really love it a lot. So yeah, that's number 40. Moving on to number 39. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Okay, I can't sing. Anyways, number 39 is Glory, starring Denzel Washington, Matthew Broderick, Morgan Freeman, and a whole lot of other people. Yeah, this is a really, really great movie. If you haven't seen it, it was like, it's like one of my favorite movies in 1989, and my old top 40 to 50 list was, there was a lot of 1989 movies. After watching a lot of others, it was not, like, I had 6 1989 movies, and this was number 1. Till I rewatched another one, and this is definitely a better movie than that one that kind of jumped ahead. But this is definitely the best movie from 1989. Yeah, Glory. It's really, really awesome. Not awesome. It's amazing. It's a beautiful story. It takes place during the Civil War, which is really an overlooked kind of war when it comes to movies, because usually it's all about World War II. And World War II is definitely a more cinematic kind of a war. And I think that Civil War is just as, you know, cinematic. And I think that it's really good. I think Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington and even Matthew Broderick, believe it or not, does a great job. I mean, if you've seen Godzilla, you're thinking Matthew Broderick cannot possibly be in any good movies. Well, there's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is pretty good, and then there's this, which is amazing. It's about the first troop of all black soldiers during the Civil War, and the U.S. Army is just kind of, because the black people want to fight, and the government's just saying, oh, we'll just create this troop, but we're not going to give him any action, you know. And then Matthew Broderick really starts to care for these people who were once slaves and who a lot of people, you know, dislike because, you know, they're because of segregation. They're like, oh, they're black people, you know, let's just spit them on the side of the road. But and then Matthew Broderick starts fighting for him, and he's their leader, and it's really good. And the ending is just, I think that Edward Zwick did just the ending. He did very well, and the action sequences are done pretty well. And yeah, the ending is very, very bittersweet. I mean, it's just. I actually watched this in 8th grade. Yeah, we were studying the Civil War, and that's the only time, I mean the only time, I've ever been at school and had somebody show a movie that actually had held 7th, 8th graders' attention for like 2 hours, and it's a very, very bittersweet movie, but I love it a lot. So yes, the best movie of 1989, not my favorite, but definitely the best one. So moving on to number 38. Alright, number 38 is James Cameron's Aliens. This is definitely James Cameron's best movie. I haven't seen the Terminator movies yet. I am getting to them. Trust me. But of what I've seen, this is definitely his best movie in my opinion. And, well, it's a fantastic sequel. You know, it's just a really, you know, gritty, balls-to-the-wall action movie, and they do that really well. It's, sorry of you Avatar fanboys, it's, dude, is it really a competition? Anyways, but, yeah, I almost had The Abyss on this list, but then I realized, well, there are better movies than The Abyss, so that's the reason The Abyss is not on this list. But, yeah, I think James Cameron is a really good director, overrated as beyond belief, but yeah, he's a good director, a really good action director, and he directs this movie very well. I just like Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, does a great job. I just liked her performance a lot, and I like the android, the knife. Oh, that was awesome. And yeah, this is like one of those like really great, you know, story like summer blockbuster movies that are loud, they're noisy, but they have a good plot and all that stuff, and it's just really one of, like, you just go, that's awesome when you watch it. I mean, it's just so cool, and, you know, she takes two guns and tapes them together, and just like, oh, yeah. It's a sequel to the Ridley Scott original Alien. It's not as good as Alien, but it does come close, and it's awesome. So, yeah, it's no wonder it's one of the highest rated sequels ever, because it's a good sequel. Alright, moving on to number 37. Yeah, no, the next one's Alien. Yeah, Aliens did come really close. They were actually tied for a while. But I feel that Alien just did a better job. Well, I mean, they're really different, but they're like the same. The atmosphere is the same, but the styles are different. This is a really slow-building horror movie with like 3 pop scares, but those pop scares are really effective. Nowadays, just what? 5 minutes of quiet time? Are you nuts? It just drives me nuts. And in Aliens, there's a little like one too many pop scares for me, but Alien was really well done. And yeah, Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, is it? It's Tom Skerritt, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Tom Skerritt and Sigourney Weaver do great jobs. I liked it. Ian Holm in this movie, he was cool, and I just think it's I mean, it's, the plot is very, very, it's a very simple plot, but the plot they definitely use to its fullest. These Alien movies, like especially Aliens, does owe a lot to the original Night of the Living Dead, because, well, kind of the same thing. But, I mean, whatever. So, Alien is really awesome. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It definitely really cool. Well, what can I say? I just really think it's creepy. I really like the characters. I really like the plot, even though it's really simple. Sometimes simple's really good. I mean, like a grilled cheese. Grilled cheese is so simple to make, but it's good. Just Alien. Grilled cheese for movies. Alright, next movie is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is my favorite movie from the year 1989. I think that Harrison Ford, once again, does fantastic as, well, Indiana Jones, and Sean Connery does great as, well, Henry Jones. And I think that their chemistry is really good. I thought that the plot was just slightly better than the first one. The first one, I mean, they're both like international action, you know, adventure movies, and they're like almost, in my eyes, just almost by each other, but they're not. I find this one just a little better because I like the plot just slightly better, and I like the Connery and Harrison Ford's chemistry on screen. I love how everyone thinks this is a really, really long movie when it's like, well, just as long as the first two Indiana Jones movies. So, yeah, if you're probably thinking, well, since I have the first and third on this list, you're probably thinking what I thought of Temple of, I was about to say Temple of Jones. No, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I used to really hate it, from what I remembered of it. But then me and Spencer watched, you know, all the Indiana Jones movies like back to back to back, and it's really not that bad. I mean, it definitely has a lot of flaws, but I mean, next to these two, it's got nothing. Well, I mean, it has something, but not as good. But yeah, if you haven't seen this one, check it out. I mean, if you didn't like the first one, you're crazy. Second, you should have seen the second one, and if you didn't like the second one, so you decided not to watch the third one. Understandable, but, well, it's my personal favorite, and a lot of people agree with me, so take that, Spencer. Okay, number 35 is 1933's King Kong, starring Robert Armstrong and Fay Wray. Yeah, really, really great movie. If you haven't seen this, then you've probably seen the remake, which is really good. I mean, it's pretty good remake, but nothing, absolutely nothing compares to Kinju Kanju. This is not Japanese. What? King Kong. So, you know the story. Carl Denham, he's a filmmaker trying to find a leading lady. He stumbles upon Fay Wray, and then she decides she's going to come with him. They go to a remote, deserted island to start filming when the creepy natives are, you know, take her and they put her in a ritual, and King Kong takes her away, and they're trying to find her. And yeah, it's a really, really great piece of filmmaking, especially like the way it's made is great. Nowadays, it's just that's gonna cause for some actual special effects. You know, like we need to build that giant foot. Huh? You're right. Let's make a computer generated. Yeah, you're right. I mean, why? Why? I mean, half the fun of making, like, me and Spencer's YouTube videos are just, like, coming up with ridiculous ways to use that as an effect. You know, use an object as an effect. I mean, and then now it's just, okay. Hey, Levi. Anyway, so it's like, nowadays it's just, you know, ooh, do it on the computer. I mean, it's, I absolutely love practical uses. That's why I love Christopher Nolan so much. Practical ways of, you know, practical effects and filmmaking. So yeah, see King Kong. I mean, if you want to become a film buff, you gotta see King Kong. All right, number 44 is Humphrey Bogart and Mary Astor and the Maltese Falcon. Also has Sidney Greenstreet, Peter Lorre, and Yeah, I love this movie a lot. If you saw my review of it, well, I have a review of it. I'll probably have a link, like, right here. But yeah, it's a really, really good film noir. This is the first movie I saw that had Peter Lorre in it, and what can I say? I love Peter Lorre a lot. This was actually Sidney Greenstreet's first movie, and he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, and he did a really good job as Mr. Gutman, the Fat Man. And I thought this is also the first Humphrey Bogart movie I saw, and you know, he looked, you know, he was this tough guy, kind of. This is like definitely one of his darker protagonists, and you know, he's like, you know, he's a tough guy. He's Sam Spade, and you know, his business partner gets shot, and then he gets wrapped up in this whole, you know, criminal searching for the Maltese Falcon. He's not a policeman. He's just a inspector. You know, he trails people, shadows them. Yeah, but yeah, if you haven't seen this, it's pretty good. And this is the first movie I saw that had Peter Lorre, who is like one of my all-time favorite actors now. Yeah, from the year 1941, the same year as Citizen Kane. What?
I recorded it.
Oh yeah, thank you, Spencer, for recording it for me. Because if you hadn't done that, I would never have seen this movie. Thank you, Spencer. Okay, anyways, moving on to number 43. Alright, next on our list is Lifeboat, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Had to get his name in there because, well, he's my favorite director. This is a really funny and ironic story of, you know, how I came to watch Lifeboat. You know, it was Sunday afternoon, hanging out at her mom's house, and she said, "Hey, why don't you get a movie on demand?" So we said, sure, why not? I wanted to see North by Northwest, hadn't seen it then, and they didn't have it on demand, so I was like, well, let's see what else they have. So they had Lifeboat, watched Lifeboat, and later I ended up watching North by Northwest a couple weeks later, and it's not on this list. In fact, it's the only Hitchcock movie I've seen that's not on this list. And, well, this is on the list, and I didn't really want to see it. But, you know what? It's great. It has great direction, great cinematography. I think Hitchcock deserved his nomination for Best Director for this movie. Because, I mean...
Nomination?
What?
Nomination?
What did I say?
You're glad he got this nomination.
Oh, he got a nomination for this movie. Yeah, he only has to work with a small boat of people on it. The story is about this American ship that gets sunk by a German U-boat, and then a whole bunch of passengers, survivors get on the boat, and, well, they're trying to survive. Oh yeah, with the catch. They rescue the captain of the German U-boat. That adds conflict, and it's added very well. I love Alfred Hitchcock's cameo. His direction, again, deserved its nomination, because he only has to work with this small boat, and you have no idea where on the world they are. You just know that they're somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. And I like the climax a lot. I think that it's a very good character study. I mean, you get all these characters just, you know, knocking each other the wrong way, and all that. It's just... Great movie. Yeah. There's more Hitchcock movies to come. Moving on. Okay, coming in at number 32 is Gojira, 1954 foreign film from Japan. Really good movie. I like this a lot. If you remember my original top 10 movies, this was number 9. Now it dropped to 32. It is the movie from my original top 10 list to drop the most. But that doesn't mean I still don't love it. I love this movie a lot. It's a ton of fun, and it's actually a really good movie. So check it out. It's a really kind of a war movie. I mean, during, at the post-war, Godzilla starts showing up, and because of nuclear radiation, you know, he's like, "Grah, I've come to kill all of you," and he like just starts destroying Tokyo, and they can't do anything, and it's just, they're trying to find out how to just kill this monster, and it's really, and I love the effects they use in this, because it's not computer generated, it's practical effects, and I think it's so cool how they made this movie, because, oh, it must have been so fun. Well, not for the guy in the Godzilla suit, it must have been like torture for him, but it must have really been fun working with him. But yeah, that's number 32. Going on to number 31. Alright, wrapping up today's list from 40 to 31 is Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, starring Max Schreck, directed by F.W. Murnau, and from the year 1922. It's a really, really great movie. I mean, as far as horror movies go, this is probably the scariest, and not because while you're watching it it's scary. It's not really till after you watch it it's really scary. I mean, the music's eerie and creepy, but that's really all it, like, it doesn't really scary, but it's really haunting. And after I watched this, I was looking at the shadows, and if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. Those shadows were a little weird that night, but I mean, when I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is like kind of a weird movie. And then, like, as it kept going, I mean, it has so much haunting images, like the part where they open up the log, the captain's log, when the ship comes to sea and like everybody's dead. You know, they just open up and this is like unknown passenger, you know, living in the what's it called, Spence?
Living under the deck.
Yeah, living under the deck. And I was like, that's kind of creepy. And then, you know, Hutter's wife looks down, and it shows like all the people carrying the coffins down the street. They're really powerful and haunting images, and I really appreciate Murnau for doing that. And the music is really creepy, and of course, Max Schreck as cinema's first vampire is really creepy and beautifully done. I think that the story is, you know, it's Dracula. I mean, anyone who's heard of Nosferatu knows that it's F.W. Murnau wanted to make Dracula, but he didn't have any of the rights from Bram Stoker, so they had to change the names. And this movie was almost destroyed until one copy survived. Just one. And I'm glad it did, because otherwise this wouldn't be on the list. And I think that Max Schreck as Count Orlok is like one of the best screen villains. And I just think that the atmosphere and its tone is like definitely one of the best things about it. So yeah, that's wrapping up today's list. Tell me what you think of my list, and there are going to be some 3 more parts coming. Let's see, 30 to 21, and then 20 to 11, and then my top 10. So this is going to be my wrap up, and I'm going to see you tomorrow with 31 to 20. So wait, no. Yeah, 30 to 21. So see you tomorrow. I'm Connor Nielsen of CS Reviews, and I'm out.